What's up guys, so by the title of this video I am going to go over how I went from a 7th place A-class guy to a pro podium in 2 years. Let's get right into it.
Damn, same shit, you keep bringing me down. Same old story every time you come around. You already know shawty, but you looking like
I'll never doubt Brandon. That kid has been one of the most impressive racers through his entire amateur career.
This has nothing to do with riding schools. The second thing that this doesn't have involved is any of the idea that you need to be riding with a partner, for example. Like, listen, this is going to kind of come off a little different than you would think, but I personally don't think that it's that important to be riding with like a group of people or riding partners, or like you got to be training together and stuff. I never did that, you know. Like when I went pro, the back half of the year I was staying with Joel Hetrick, but even then, like, it wasn't him that made me go progress. Like, it was still myself. Like, I still had to wake up and still wanted to do everything. You know what I mean? It's like I see nowadays that people think that they have to be with someone. Well, look at this year, for example. I haven't been training with people since I left Florida. And all winter in Florida, I was training with people. And I didn't, it's not like I progressed more training with people. I've been alone from like this back half of this year, and I've podiumed almost, you know, the last four races. So without a DNF, I would have. I mean, it's just, you don't need to think that you have to have someone to train with. You can do things on your own, man. Like, I don't know where that kind of came about, but yeah, it's just that's not kind of my approach. It's more of, if you want it bad enough yourself, like, you can go get that for sure. If you look back in the motocross days with Carmichael and stuff, they didn't train together, you know what I mean? It was more of, I'm on my own, you're on your own somewhere, and we'll race each other at the races. Last thing I wanted to say that this is not about is, it's not talent, okay? Like, I hate hearing the word that, oh, you're super talented and stuff. They don't realize I'm actually not that talented. Like, growing up, I was never the fast kid. I got lapped at my first, like, year of racing nationals, you know what I mean? So, if you go back to the results, I was not the talented kid. I never won growing up. Like, once I got to 300EX is when I started to win, but before that, like, no one knew who I was. I would talk to people that even sometimes I race right now that wouldn't even give me the time of day. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, so let's get into the things that it did involve. Alright, first thing was when I was at the banquet of that A-class year in 7th, I realized everyone in front of me did not want to progress as much as I did. Like, I wanted, everything about my life was racing. So that meant I was training way more than these other guys. My volume was super high. I was training more at 17 than pretty much everyone in pro right now. So the training is just my #1 thing. I can't stress enough, and that's why I'm so big on it. It's not just about fitness. You don't see fitness when you're racing. Like, I don't know who's fit and who's not fit, but it's the mentality that you get from your training. So yeah, my volume was super high, my intensity was high, and that's kept me progressing even to now, right? Like, this back half of the year, I feel pretty dang good. My podiums have been the most this year. I feel like I've progressed for sure. I'm closer to the front group, and that's like a lot to do with training, right? So one day, hopefully, I'll be winning races and I can come back and tell you, like, see, this is just what it was. So anyway, yep, training is the biggest thing. I can't stress that enough. The second thing that I want to talk about is kind of like a dedication thing. I'm 21 right now, and I've never drank or smoked anything, never done any type of drugs, alcohol, or anything. And that was in high school, that was when I got homeschooled. I've been to parties and stuff, but like, that's how serious I had to be for myself to be in this, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying you can't do that stuff and you can't go enjoy life. I still enjoyed life. Like, I would hunt and fish and stuff like that, but I was very dedicated, man. It just, even nowadays, like, it goes a long way in whatever career you want to do, and this is also one of those. So yeah, I just took it serious, you know what I mean? third thing I wanted to talk about is watching film. So watching sport film. I would watch, I mean still today, but I watch so much footage of the ride from Rip It Up Films, the ATV motocross recaps, all this stuff, GoPros, tons of GoPros. Like, I have a list on my YouTube channel of just saved videos all the way from like 2016 to even now. I just keep uploading them. But tons of GoPro footage. I'd watch, I'd rewatch it, rewatch. You know what I mean? So just watching film. I feel like people should know that by now, but yeah, watch tons of film. Even as you mature and don't ride, like, you don't need to ride to improve, believe it or not. So yeah, just tons of film. You can learn stuff just from the camera. And a fourth thing, and like I said in the beginning of this video, this is from A class to pro. So this isn't from like C to pro. This is just kind of from like the people I see in pro sport and pro-am to going pro and trying to be a podium guy. It's gonna take time. Like, I know this is a video about 2 years, but you know, especially with the way the class is now, like, it's gonna take time. So if you have bad races, if you're a 7th place guy or 8th place guy or 10th place guy, like, you can't freak out. But I really want to see you pissed off that you're that position, you know? When I first started my rookie year, I was the 8th place, 7th place guy, but I was pissed off like no other driving home. And not just like the mad where you're mad for an hour. No, like, I'd be mad for a few days, you know what I mean? Thinking about what do I need to do to actually catch the faster guys. And then I went to round 4 in Ironman, and I started to qualify better. I was qualifying 4th, and I got a 4th place, and it's like a flip will switch for you, you know, to where you're like, wow, I belong here. So yeah, it's just actually being pissed off. Like, it's not, I don't really think that being happy with a bad position is like the best way to go. I've never seen success out of that. I really haven't. Now, I would say you need to be happy with finishes if you know you rode well and you rode to your best. But man, if you're not riding to your best and you know it, don't be happy with that. So yeah, sorry man, this is a kind of a shorter video and I didn't go over too much, but I feel like these are really important. So get training, really help with your mentality. Take it serious, still enjoy your life, go golf and do stuff, but really buckle down and be like, man, if I'm going to go all in, like, I need to go all in. Whether that's sleeping in your truck for a month or do whatever it takes, man, whatever it takes. This is no bullshit. So, yeah, and then watching film, that's a huge one. And I think you know, this isn't about riding techniques, so this is just stuff off of the track. This has nothing to do with the actual riding, but leave a comment, like the video, and in a future video I'll go over stuff with riding, but this is kind of more important than that right now. So yep, thanks.
Damn, same shit, you keep bringing me down. Same old story.